And we'll start with our big story for tonight. And founder of Group Indum, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum, says he's been having sleepless nights lately. This is because his bank has been hit by panic withdrawals. Within the last 3 months, for instance, he said 3 weeks, I should say, he said a total of 200 million Ghana cedis has been withdrawn from the GN Bank. He's been embarked on a nationwide campaign to actually speak to people to stop panic withdrawal. Let's hear from him.
It has been huge. I mean, we at GN Bank, I'll say over the past few weeks, we've seen more than 200 million Ghana cedis withdrawn. Okay, when prior to that, our deposits were going up, and we had just completed our expansion program, so the deposits were going up. So it is not just the 200 million that we have lost. It is all the other ones, opportunity costs that we could have had that we now don't have. Okay, and when you lose that much money over a short period of time, that's your liquidity. Okay, that's your liquidity. And some people don't understand it, but that's your liquidity. And we must deal with it, restore confidence, have people bring back monies, and that too, it takes time. So somebody will come tomorrow, they won't get what they want. But we still want to encourage them to be patient enough and keep coming so that the situation will become stabilized.
So his point, first point of call actually was the spare parts market at Abossey. Let's hear from some customers that he's been speaking to.
We don't collect loan from any bank. Our duty is to just put the money there and take the money and go and work. So if you are putting your huge money there like 200,000 Ghana cedi and you are going to take it and they say no money, your business too is collapsing, what are you going to do? That's our shivering. That's our main problem. We don't collect loan from any bank. But our only thing is that our money we put inside your bank. We have season. You see this October, 15th going. This is our season for work. You come here, do see any onion. All our money packed there, and now withdrawal is a problem. What are we going to do? That's our panic. And if you can address it without, we don't fear. Bank is a saving place where you can save your money.
But I've noticed that he has been explaining. Are you not satisfied with what he's saying?
So the thing is that we have explained, but we panic for withdrawal.
So you want to go for your money?
We don't want to go. If I go there for my money today, I will get my money and go and buy my business. I don't panic. But if my brother go there to collect small money, they say no money. They will told him maybe 1 week, 2 weeks. He doesn't get. What about if you put if your huge money is there and you are going to take to do your business? Do you think you get it? This is our main problem. So we don't have problem for the bank. The bank is everywhere.
What I myself did not or have never been to the bank because of these panic withdrawals that people are talking about. But the issue that bothers you, we the people of this place, is not about what is going through or circulating in the banking sector. But all that is a problem. You know, most of our colleagues here, most of the guys here, transact business through the GM Bank.
Let's still stay on this very important topic, and Philip Namfuri of Joy Business joins me right here in the studio. Philip, hello. Nice seeing you. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a very, very long while.
You're welcome back.
Thank you very
much. And then also we have MFA Dradosi of JoyNews. She's also here to help us discuss what's been happening today on the grounds. MFA, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, what was the reaction when Dr. Indum met these spare parts dealers today at Abossey?
All right, so when we got to Abossey in the morning, the place was virtually empty. So some of the staff of the bank had to come out and go around the market and organize the people and tell them why they have to listen to Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum, because I mean over the past few weeks we understand that people go there to withdraw their monies and they are not getting them. So when Papa Kwesi Indum came, the people actually marched to the place and wanted to listen to the message that he had for them. So basically the mood there was, they were expecting, something good from Papa Kwesi Indum, because they've been trying to raise money. So one guy said he went to the bank to go and withdraw just 10,000 Ghana cedis. He was given 2,000.
Oh no!
You know, so basically the mood, you just wanted something good from Papa Kwesi.
Yes, this is obviously not good for Dr. Indum himself. He looks really emotional. What's the situation with him? What has he been saying?
So, you know, if you heard, he said about 200 million already have been lost within the past few weeks. And he says he's been having sleepless nights. Right. Not because, you know, he feels like his name is going down, but the fact that, you know, even he used an example at Elmina, where he comes from. Somebody wanted to withdraw just 50 Ghana cedis, and the person was denied because the bank could not provide that amount of money. So he said that, you know, he was feeling for those who genuinely needed the money, because the people who came for the huge sums of money just came for them because of because they were panicked, you know. But the real people that need the money for their business are now the ones that are being affected by the panic withdrawals.
So those you interacted with, did they give you reasons why they were going for the money? Was it just panic, or they needed money for something very important?
So for those I spoke to, most of them, they needed money for genuine business. Okay. So for instance, the onion market, when we went there, they said this is their season, October. They need to go and buy the bags, you know, and they needed to go to the banks, take their money and go import. But they go and they don't get it. So basically, it's not about that.
I'll come back to you, Philip. Let me bring in you here. Can the banks, those who are experiencing this panic withdrawals, can they give everybody's money to them at the same time?
Sandra, well, that's a big no. Why? When a bank mobilizes deposits, a chunk of it, 10% goes to the Bank of Ghana, and you have 90% with which you lend out and which you meet customers' withdrawal needs. So there is no way financially possible for a bank to give everybody that it has accounts of their money at the same time. It's virtually impossible. Why? Because some might have gone out as loans, some might have gone out as investments. Right. And it will take some time for these loans to be repaid, and it will take some time for the bank to liquidate these investments. So it's not possible for a bank to give all of us our money at the same time.
Unfortunately, everybody is rushing in at the same time. But this campaign by Dr. Indum, is it going to be effective?
Well, from a crisis management perspective, yes, you can say yes, you try and reassure your customers and the broader general public, because banking is based on confidence and trust, and if it's lost, the entire system collapses. So yes, it will work, but what they need to do is get back to the nitty-gritties, the technical part, and make sure that if they're having liquidity shortfalls, any loans that haven't been repaid, any investment they can liquidate, any things they can do, yes, they can. Someone also said they have a lot of branches, which comes with a lot of costs. So you have to look at how to trim all those things so that you don't create big holes in terms of liquidity holes in your bank, so that you can meet your withdrawals and her withdrawals.
All right, this is obviously an individual initiative. He started this. Do you think that the regulator, the BOG in this case, has actually failed in trying to manage the crisis that we are experiencing? Okay,
well, let me take it from this angle. I had an interaction with Dr. Daniel Sedo. He's a financial consultant, and he said it's about time the different regulators of the financial sector, the four, that's banking, insurance, pensions, and investment, all come together to form one umbrella. Why? It seems, or no, it's not. It doesn't seem. It is the truth that the financial sector or system is interrelated. So a bank might take money, go and invest in a certain place, maybe an investment house. If there's a problem there, it affects the bank, and maybe a bank has an insurance arm or a group has an insurance arm. These problems seem to interrelate. So there should come a time where, and I'm sure it will come soon, where all the regulators are put under one umbrella or some sort of body to look at things like that.
But as it stands now, has the BOG done very well in managing the issue? I mean, education-wise as well, have they done well?
Well, in my personal opinion, I would say there's not a lot of focus on savings and loans. The last time I checked the Bank of Ghana's website, I saw they brought out a list of licensed non-bank financial institutions, of which savings and loans are part. There are 37 in the country. I was expecting to see a list of institutions in good standing, like they did with the microfinance institutions, so that we know who are those who are performing, who are those who are not performing. But I'm sure as time goes on, we should see some improvement.
All right, so it appears that this whole thing is spreading across the country. What will it take to stop panic withdrawals?
Well, it will take a lot of things. One, the regulator. Two, the institutions themselves. I've said here before that banking is not a young man's game. It involves a lot, and you have to run your institution prudently so that you avoid such things like this. And there are some banks that I know of personally, behind the scenes, they don't experience such problems for a very long time. They can go a whole year without any unnecessary liquidity shortfalls or panic withdrawals. So it's all got to do with the management of it. And there's some certain situations in the economy that we cannot run away from. So, but as a manager of an institution, you're supposed to balance your risks in such situations.
All right, so let me go to MFA. MFA, what's next for Indum? He met spare parts dealers today at Abosoka, and where is he moving to next?
So all he said was that now he's been able to meet the grassroots here in Accra. So he's going to do more in other regions and also intensify his media team, you know, to put the stories out there so that the message will get to everybody, so that they'll be reassured that, you know, their monies are safe for now.
So he's going to tour the whole country?
Well, he didn't say tour the whole country, but he said this is just the beginning in the Greater Accra. So we are expecting it to move to other areas, and then the media as a second point of call.
Philip, finally, before I let you go, don't you think that it's a call for industry players, I mean the banking sector, to join forces with him to get these messages down to the grassroots people and the ordinary Ghanaian who is saving and they're panicking to take their monies?
I think your argument is fair, but if you look at the sector they are coming from, they are coming from the savings and loans, and that falls under the microfinance institutions, and there are different regulations and different underpinnings or tenets in that industry. So yes, going forward, the whole industry should come together to push stuff forward. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, MFA Dradosi and Philip Namfuri, for giving an insight on how to deal with this panic withdrawal issue. But we pause for a short commercial break. When we come back, we have more on Business Live. You're welcome back. And Darrow, I've been thinking, what will it actually take to restore confidence in the banking sector?
I really don't know at this point. And do you see the look on Dr. Parker's
very emotional.
You can tell that all that is happening is taking a toll on him and his business.
I do sincerely
but you can
believe
understand
that
the people as well. I mean, in the midst of all of this,
I think that there's a call on all the industry players to join hands to fight this.
Well, let's see how things turn out. Of course, you see what's happening with First Allied as well.
It's spreading
fast. These are very critical times for the banking sector. Anyway, let's turn to a story that is inspiring, the Joy Business Van. A step at a time, that has been the building block that has transformed the operations of Omega Compute Systems Engineering Limited. On today's episode of the Joy Business Van, we hear what transformed the IT hardware and software solutions provider from ordinary to distinct. A typical working day for Charles Ohuegbe, General Manager of Omega Compute Systems Engineering Limited. So this is how Omega started. Tell me the story.
Okay, way back when the emergence of communication centers, and it was one of the biggest business around then. So what happened was that we saw the need, and realized that we could bridge the gap between those owners of the communication centers and those who sell the accessories they need. So that was how it all started. So we started doing door-to-door, going to them, trying to find out what they want, what they need, and we go get it from those who sell it and we bring it to them.
Omega Compute Systems Engineering was started by Andrew Kufuor after school. It was a time when more Ghanaians were being exposed to information technology. Andrew discovered an opportunity there. He could provide IT hardware and software solutions. That was in 1998.
And then it was, you realize that then we had a lot of home use all around the system. Because most of them were home use, you couldn't assure the quality and how good they were. So most times when he brings it in, he does his own assessment. Good. And those that are not really functional, he's able to fix them to a certain specification needed before selling. So that created, and so you saw him diving more into definitely the hardware. From there, he moved on to selling new ones, and now
the business
grew.
Grew from selling home use devices to brand new, and then general office equipment supply, installation, and maintenance.
All right.
So from computers, you moved to furniture.
Yep.
And so this is your showroom.
This is our showroom.
Omega is also becoming a go-to place for office furniture, as Charles shows me.
we decided to add it as one of our services. We know we all started with computers, but when you walk into anybody's office, you see either it's a desktop or a laptop. It's kept on top of something, and that sort of ignited a passion for trying to say that we provide everything totally office supplies. And if you see in our vision, we say we want to be number one in office, all total office supplies. So that was why we added it to our core business.
Today, Omega Compute Systems Engineering is one of the leaders in this competitive market space, and it is keen on going further.
You know, the first motivating factor is the passion for it. And I think that has been there from the beginning. In every business, you tend to thrive in one way or the other, but because the passion has been there, so we've been in and out. But for me, it's been a great experience because considering where we're coming from one room, you know, having just one bag, having your invoice, your tools, and everything moving around, and now we have a lot of we have shops, branches now.
Charles tells me about the firm's association with the not-for-profit organization Invest in Africa.
We got hooked up to the Business Acceleration Program, BAP, and for 3 months they had EY consultants all the way from Canada and UK to be with us to do a complete audit of our functional review of our processes, our systems, and our structure, and the governance and the culture. And it was very helpful because they were able to put us on a roadmap and develop a program for us after the 3 months, and which we have strictly adhered to, and now we can really measure the growth.
The import business is very challenging, especially during times of currency fluctuations. Omega Compute Systems Engineering Limited is now attempting local assembling. You're still watching Business Live. We want to update you on one of our top stories tonight. The cost of liquidating the 7 troubled banks has reached almost 13 billion cedis. This was disclosed by President Akufo-Addo at the opening of the new headquarters of Standard Chartered Bank here in Accra. George Rafe has the rest of the story.
The event brought together all the key players in the financial sector to grace the commissioning of this new headquarters of Standard Chartered Bank. The president in his speech noted that this amount of money has been spent to actually help deal with the challenges in the banking sector, where he talked about over 12 billion cedis being used to deal with the problem.
12.7 billion Ghana cedis of public funds, made up of an 8 billion cedi bond issued by the Ministry of Finance, and 4.7 billion cedis of liquidity support from the Bank of Ghana was injected into the 7 banks that failed. GCB Bank took over the affairs of Capital Bank and UT Bank, and a new state-owned bank, the Ghana Consolidated Bank, was created out of the 5 other failed banks, i.e. Sovereign Bank, Unibank, Construction Bank, Royal Bank, and Base Bank.
The president also justified his decision in terms of liquidating those troubled banks because he believes that if they had not dealt with this problem, the situation could have gotten out of hand.
The banks caught up in these malpractices became insolvent and relied on liquidity support from the Bank of Ghana. What this meant was that without injection of liquidity from the Bank of Ghana, they were bound to fail and collapse, with depositors losing their entire savings and all their workers losing their jobs. A responsible government and responsible regulator, the Bank of Ghana, had to intervene to ensure that we did not have a banking crisis. And that is exactly what happened.
The president also maintained that the country is now closer to getting into a cash-light system where little cash is used for transaction because all those infrastructure have been put in place.
Government has introduced a number of policy measures to address these challenges. Firstly, the introduction of the National Financial Inclusion and Development Strategy, which is currently before Cabinet. This strategy, when implemented, should help us increase the penetration of financial services from 58% in 2013 to some 85% by 2023. Secondly, government is working with financial institutions and regulators to promote digital finance, mobile money usage, and formalize the Ghanaian economy.
The president also asked Standard Chartered Bank to play the leading role in ensuring that interest rates are down. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, in his address maintained that they've come very far in reaching an agreement with the finance ministry in trying to deal with challenges in the savings and loans sector.
We have very strong banks and savings and loans that are doing well. However, we are working with the Ministry of Finance on a recovery plan which we expect to be implemented soon. We urge Standard Chartered to continue to draw on its strengths, knowledge of the local market.
The governor maintained that as a regulator of the banking sector, he promises to do everything on his part to ensure that the sector is safe and sound. The chairman of Standard Chartered Bank on his part maintained that as a bank, they are committed to support government in stabilizing the economy and ensuring that the system is good.
We have supported government's development agenda by supporting major projects across the length and breadth of country, by financing major energy, telecom, mining, and infrastructure projects. And in fact, we have been acknowledged as a growing partner to many businesses and building communities. Your Excellency, let me reiterate that will rise to the occasion anytime government needs a development partner.
From the new headquarters of Standard Chartered Bank, this is George Yaffe reporting for Joy Business.
All right, interesting report by George Yaffe.
Yes,
right.
Thanks for watching.
My name is Sandra Feno.